start the session. Okay, so first of all, I want to introduce you that this is the International Diploma, Level 7 Diploma in Environmental and Sustainability Management. And I'm Hina Imtiaz, and I'm going to teach you today's session. So, about today's session, we will cover this optional unit entitled as Delivering Transformational Change, and it has 20 credit hours, and it's optional, so you can pick up two from these all the optional units. So this is one of your optional units entitled as Delivering Transformational Change. Okay, so yeah. Moving towards the next, that and moreover, I want to tell you that this diploma in environmental and sustainability management is consist of total four mandatory units and the five optional units. So each candidate have to pick up the two units from these optional units, and these the four one like fundamental of sustainability, environmental science and energy transition, environmental management and organizations, and the research methods. These are all the mandatory units. You have no choice. You have no. These are all compulsory for you. You have to pick up these units and solve the regarding all the assessments in it. But when you talk about these units, these are optional, and you have to pick up the two from all these. So I'm going to teach you about first optional unit, which is delivering transformational change. Okay, so transformational change, what is it, and how an organization will achieve the this change. I will tell you, this is very quite simple if you are determined to bring a change in any organizations regarding environment or sustainability. So you know that the world grapple with the challenges of climate change, environmental degradation, social inequality, and all the other political conditions. And these are all the factors which influence the environment, so and which influence the transformational change. But this lecture basically will tell you that what is the concept of the transformational change in the context of environment and sustainability. And first of all, I want to tell you that what is transformational change. Basically, it's a fundamental shift in such a way that organizations, systems, or individuals operates, leading to the significant improvement in the environment and the social outcomes. And the most important thing, that we have to meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generations. So this is the concept of sustainability, and we have to promote the social justice, human rights, and community well-being. So all these factors we have to keep in mind, that is social equality, concept of sustainability. You can bring such type of transformational change in it. So basically, the transformational change is a type of the change that occur when an organization makes a fundamental change in how it operates. Okay, either that transformational change might be in the manufacturing area. For instance, I want to give you an example so that you can grab the concept of the transformational change. Like if an organization wants to change the entire system, like they want to adopt the green system, or they want to reduce the carbon dioxide emissions, they want to contribute their role, they want to play their own role in reducing the concept of the climate change. So they for that they have to use the hybrid manufacturing unit. They have to work for the renewable energies. So the concept of the renewable energies and the concept of the recycling, these type of transformational change which they have to bring in their entire industrial area, in their entire operating area, so that they can contribute towards the environment. But again, as you can see in this picture, that this change, this delivering transformational change is not an easy job. It's a teamwork, and we have to play our own individual role in such a team so that we can play in such a way that if our organization takes a step to bring any transformational change, so each and every teammate and each and every member have to play their own role to because they wanted that whatever the top management wants the change, they have to be the part of that successful transformational change. All right. So I think you can get an idea now that you got the idea of what is transformational change if any organization want regarding environment and sustainability. Yeah, you can bring you can bring a huge shift, like if any organizations wants to improve the air quality of the nearby area, so they have to cut out the carbon dioxide emission, the smoke emissions, and these NOx and SOx emissions. So these are such type of transformational change which can improve the quality of the environment and the quality of the life of the human beings, which is quite beneficial not only for the human beings but also for the environment as well. So, moving towards the next one. Yeah, there are the two type of changes like adaptive change and transformational change. So basically the adaptive changes are the small, like if they want to uh, cut out the if they want to cut out the units of electricity and they want to save the energy, so they decided that we will use uh, a few lights, and in that lights we will work, so they will automatically save the electricity. But these are the adaptive changes, like they have to adopt the organizational culture, the organization norms, values and ethics, so they can bring that change. But transformational change is on larger scale, and its scope is much larger in parameter regarding the adaptive changes. So these transformational changes involve the major shift, like they have to change their goal, their objective. They have to change their entire strategy, because this is known as the transformational change. So this must be on a larger scale. They have to change the entire structure. For instance, I want to give you an example that uh, if an organization is working on producing some good, but the entire machinery is belong to 19th century, which is quite faulty machines. They are producing much more emissions like carbon dioxide emissions, or they are using maximum raw material. So what they have to do, they bring the latest technology like the hybrid technology, or if you can take the hybrid technology, so this means that they are shifting the entire structure. So I want to give you the second example, that if an industry want to replace the waste management system or the waste recycling system, so this is like if they want to bring the nanotechnologies or the nanomembranes in the wastewater treatment system or in the waste management system, so that shift, that strategy, and that structure change is known as the transformational change. Okay, so do you get idea that what is adaptive change and what is transformational change? So our focus is on the transformational change, which must be on a larger scale and which must be on altering the entire strategies, altering the entire goal, altering the entire performances of the employees, and altering are changing the entire process of manufacturing such type of the goods or the structures. So moving towards the next one. So what are the steps in the transformational change? So before moving towards that, uh, I want to tell you one thing, that the transformational change have is not a one day process. It's depend on entire planning. It's depend uh, on a time span in which they practice in such a way that they can bring that successful transformational change, which is quite beneficial not only for the organization but for also for the employees as well. So in other words, basically, that transformational change is very good for the environment and for the next generations. Otherwise, we will stick to the traditional and the conventional methods. So, a transformational change is basically brings the innovation, brings the creativity, and it's very good for the economics as well. And moving towards the steps in transformational change, because as I told you that this is not a one day process. In that, you have to establish a clear goal for the change initiative, and you have to get everyone on board with vision for the future, that what you want, why you are introducing a such change in your organization. So you have to bring all the team in one page. So you have to bring all your team on one method. So this is not quite an easy task. This is a difficult task, but this is not impossible. For me, your each and every student is a leader, and you have to gather all the people on one page. So for that, you have to get everyone on board, and you have to tell your vision, that why you want this change, why this is beneficial for the humanity. And then you have to create a roadmap for how to get there, like what you want and how you can get that specific goal. You have to tell the entire strategy, entire plan to your team, and with your team you will achieve something. And then you have to give your the entire mechanism, and after that you will evaluate the progress and ensure the success, that either that transformational change keeps keeps keep that organization remain successful, and what are certain benefits you got from all this transformational change by adopting, by bringing that transformational change. Moving towards the next slide. Yeah. Again, I want to tell you that there are different stages of the transformational change, and in which you have first is pre-contemplation, and after that there is a stage known as contemplation. Then the third stage is the preparation. Fourth stage will be the action, and the fifth stage is the maintenance. But the first two stages, pre-contemplation and the contemplation, is a very difficult and is very need very hard work and proper planning for the first two stages. Okay, for the first two stages, I want to tell you that for the first two stages, what you have to do, okay, you have to inform your team that uh, we are going to start this new setup or the new strategy. So you have to gather all the team. Okay. So, and moving towards the next slide, there are whenever you want to bring the transformational change, you must focus. Your focus must be the sustainability. So for that, being a leader, you have to align your organization to a unique purpose. You have to reunite, you have to gather all your team on a certain purpose. So the climate risk disrupts the traditional business models, and these all you have to gather all the stakeholders, and you have to execute such plan with a proper planning with, so that you have to drive the entire transformational plan in such a manner that each and every person will perform and the entire organization will get the benefits. Okay, so Okay, students. So video about the transformational change, that it's a correct thing, that transformational change means that you have to shake the entire system, and it's a fight towards the traditional and the complex structures. So by only doing this, by only doing that challenge, you can bring the transformational change. So moving towards the assessments which you have to do, the first task is the you have to attempt all this assessment, and what are the learning outcomes you have, are we that the assessor uh, wants that what must be the learning outcomes for the students. So yeah, they want that you can understand how to conduct a materiality assessment to understand priorities for the change and the change readiness. So for that, you have to attempt all these four parts in for the first learning outcomes. So you have to identify the similarities and the differences of the materiality between the industries. You have to compare the different industries. You have to tell the similar things and the differences among those industry regarding keeping the concept of materiality. Okay, So moving towards the next task, this is describe how to conduct a materiality assessment in the context of a specific company and its specific needs and the characteristics. That what are the specific characteristics and what are the specific needs of a specific company, but you have to all describe this question in the context of materiality assessment. I will tell you that what is materiality assessments, why it is important, and how can we achieve this in the next slides. But first, we have to understand the question. What are the assessment criteria for the question number one? So these are the four parts of the first question that and the I have told you about the first two questions. Now I'm moving towards the third one, that you have to explain the external and the internal drivers for the change, specifically those related to the climate change and sustainability. Like how can we bring a change in solving the climate change problem, and how can we achieve the sustainability? But we have to describe what are the external and the internal drivers for it. And last part of the first question is you have to critically analyze how the material issues present the risk, opportunities, and driver for change to the organization. So, first of all, what is material assessment? So, basically, material assessment is a formal uh, exercise to engage the external stakeholders and to determine how important the environmental, social, and the governance, these ESG issues are to them. You have to keep in mind this ESG because this belongs to the question number fifth also. So the ESGs are environmental, social, and governance. These are the three important stakeholders. And material assessment is a formal exercise to engage all these stakeholders. Okay, because environmentalist, social society, and governance means policymaker. These are the stakeholders of the uh, material assessment, and you have to engage all these stakeholders. And then the insight from the material assessment can be used to guide the strategies and communication and tell a more meaningful, sustainable story to the stakeholder. Basically, in other words, I want to tell you guys that a material assessment is a method that allows different organizations to understand and prioritize their sustainability issues, incorporating the stakeholders' point of views on their product or the services. So, the what are the main objective of the materiality assessment? So, basically, the primary objective of this assessment to identify the social and the environmental areas that hold the most significance for your community, for your own organization, investors, and all the stakeholders. Now, why it is important? m- Material assessment is very important because you have to reunite all the stakeholders and you have to formulate the efficient sustainable strategy, and you have to bring a bedrock for all the organizations who can formulate these type of the strategies which are beneficial for the future generations. As you know that with the world increasingly striving for the net zero emissions, you people have an idea? Anyone from the class? Yes, Mr. Asad, can you please tell me about net zero emission? The concept of net zero emission? Yeah, can you please tell me about the concept of the net zero emission? Okay, I think the people are very shy. Okay, so basically, the net zero emission is you have to minimize the greenhouse gas emissions or the such smoke emissions into such a way that you can you can give the data which has zero emission number. The relevance of the assessment has a skyrocket, and it illuminates the various ESG challenges that could potentially derail a company's journey towards the environment and economy prosperity. So different type of the research reveal that companies that addresses the ESG factors and this material assessment, there is a potential opportunity for the cost of the business as well. You can to improve the business. How to conduct, now the next question is how to conduct a material assessment. So for that, you can develop such a team in which you can bring all the members, and you have to give the clear correlation between the finance, performance, and underlining the importance of the material assessment. You have to emphasize on the immaterial factors and a direct consensus. So you have to tell that each and every member of your team that how can you achieve the material assessment by by giving them the correlation between the finance, performance, and the ESG's issues, and a direct consensus as well. So, what there are the five main challenges regarding the transformational change. So, first challenge is in-house preferences. You have to prefer the change, or this is one of the main basic um, idea that you have to uh, prefer that either you want to adapt that change, either you want to bring that change for the well-being of the environment, for the well-being of the humanity, or for solving the climate change. So if you are working in such an organization, in such an industry, uh, so that industry must be favor the environment. They have to prefer their profit. They have to prefer their profit, and they have to prefer their performance over the environmental benefits, because we are the custodians of this planet. So we have to prefer the quality of the human being, the quality of the environment. And the next is focus you have to focus on your objective. You have to maintain the focus 24 by 7, that what are our focus, how can we improve the environment. And next question is, okay, here is a question. Okay, you are bringing a new technology, you are bringing a new method, you are bringing a transformational change. So you have a clear backup plan, you have a clear strategies that how can you cope with the failures, how can you cope with the certain situations. So, and next question is time restraints. You have to be very speedy, you have to follow up the deadlines. Okay, you have to follow up all the things that, because we don't compromise the productivity, we don't compromise the efficiency of any organization. So you have to keep up with the time as well, with the timeline of your organization as well. And the fifth is experience level. You have to train your entire team, you have to train your employee of the entire organization before introducing such a strategy, before introducing such type of the machinery, before introducing the such type of manufacturing methods, or the processes, or altering the strategy. You have to train so that your entire team is well experienced and on such a level that they can perform very smoothly, and your team can get results, so that your organization will boosted the performance, the performance will be boosted by the transformational change, and the economic benefits and the profits and the environmental benefits and the quality of the human beings, all these objectives must be achieved at a time as well. So these are all the challenges that you have to keep up the all these objectives, all these challenges at a time. You have to solve, you have to faces all these challenges, and you have to give the results. Okay, next question is about you have to understand the techniques, practices, behavior, and the knowledge of the change management. These are the learning outcomes, and what are the assessment criteria in it. You have to describe the needs for the organizational change or management and the key role enabling and facilitating the transformational change. So what is the role of the management as well? So you have to explain in next question, you have to explain why the stakeholder engagement and the effective collaborative communication are necessary for the change success. And you have to analyze how the organization prepare for the change. Okay, you have to give the answer in which you will tell that how an organization must be prepare their employee, their entire structure before bringing transformational change. And in next question, you have to analyze that how fundamental change management model can be used to deliver that change more effectively. That what is the role of the management? What should be the fundamental change you have to bring in the management before implementing such type of transformational change, which can work more effectively. The next question is you have to evaluate the five level of sustainability, maturity, and the continuous change as the most successful approaches to the transformational change. So, uh, for this question, I have arranged your slides in such a way that I just wrote these uh, learning outcomes and the assessment criteria, and in the next slides I will give you the overview regarding these questions. So regarding these questions, I want to tell you that how can you give that management, and what type of the management change will help in the transformational change. So focus on these slides, students. Change in management must be that a management duty is they have to simplify the process. You don't have to present your process in a complex manner so that entire team will get confused, because we want that each and every employee of the organization must be have a clear concept, clear idea about what we are doing and what we want to do, and how can we bring that, and how can we deliver that transformational change. And next we have you have the integrated system, because you don't uh, opt a single method. The integrated system is a best system in which you can bring all these things. You have to bring all the things, like you have to bring the manufacturing ideas. You have to bring the uh, a team. Integrated means not opting a single thing. You have to integrate all the methods. You have to integrate all the possible solutions. You have to mix up all the solutions so that your management will change. And again, you don't have to stick to the traditional machines, to the conventional methods, because you have to welcome the innovation. You have to welcome the new technology, because new technology is everything nowadays. It's the era of the machines. It's the 21st century, and it's the era of the machine. It's the era of the technology. And then we have the management change. Change management plus. Management change means you have to change the process. You have to change the process, but you did not change the leader. So the result will be zero, or the result will be not expected to the expectations. But if you uh, bring, and if you change the leader, and if you change the process, only then your transformational change will be successful, and you will be able to deliver the transformational change. For that, if you want to change the leadership, if you want to change in management, so the leadership must be a very encouraging. They have to encourage their team, encourage their each and every member, and the leader must be the honest, and they will treat each and every employee according to the equality, according to the merit, and their thoughts and ideas are quite innovative and constructive. And they have the ability that those type of the leader are such in such a leadership that they they must be a fearless person, and they can take the action according to the situation. They can tackle the situation according to the circumstances. Then what are the circumstances, and what steps we have to take to solve all this situation, to to solve all this transformational change. Okay, I want to give you an example that if any uh, problem arises in such a way that that will hinder this performance or delivering the transformational change. So this is the duty of the leader, that the leader must be takes a step to solve that situation, to calm that circumstances, and it's the duty of the leader that who can ensure that this transformational change will be the successful. And again, this okay, focus on this reward the failure. If a person did not adapt or did not compatible to such type of transformational change, so it doesn't mean you can discourage your team, you can discourage your organization. You have to train them. You can give reward by training that employee that okay, this is not impossible thing, we will achieve such type of transformational change. We will for instance, if you are shifting entire sewage system or your waste management system up to the latest technology, so your employee does not know about that new technology, so you have to train that individual, you have to train your employee, and you don't have to complicate the all the process. Okay, you have to give a very simple solution to your team. Only then you will get a elegity control direction, and only then uh, you will see the transform process. The transformation is not an easy thing, because a leader and the team both work together, and then you can deliver the transformational change. Okay, moving towards the next slide. Some of the key function of the transformational leadership for the organizational change, which are follows, that first of all is emotional well-being and resilience. A leader must be a resilient, and employee can have the trust on their leader. If employee has the trust on the leader, they can do whatever their leader wants to do them. If a leader and the team has a trust building among themselves, so everything will be good, and the success result will be the 100%, and you can get the expected results, the expected outcomes will be 10 by 10. So in this question you will tell that what type of management change, what type of the leadership must be adopted by the organizations for transformational changes. So by learning these slides, you can um, you will be able to solve all this assessment, although you will be able to solve all these questions. And then you have a leader must have the deep engagement with the change process. You have to devote your time, you have to devote your skills, you have to devote your capacities for deep engagement, which change the process. Moving towards the next slide, okay, here is the model of organization performance and the change, that are the transformational factors. So if you look into this diagram, we have the external environment, we have the mission and the strategy, which is directly reflected to the leadership. We have the individual and organizational performance, and then we have the organization culture. Okay, by knowing this model, you will see that a leader will be able to control external environment, and he should be controlled, because everything will be deal by such type of leader or such type of the management, that he must have an ability to cope with the external factors, to cope with the external environment, to cope with the organization culture, by keeping in mind the mission and the strategy, what they want to deliver, what they want to apply, and what type of strategies they want to implement. All these duties must be of a leader, that who is basically responsible for implementation of such type of strategies, which is a new strategy, which is a transformational strategy for solving such type of the problems that will for instance, if a leader has target that okay, after 1 month our emissions will be cut off by the 50%, so this is the mission, this is the so they will opt a new strategy. So the mission and the strategy must be keep in mind, And by keeping the strategy and the objective in mind, a leader will perform in such a way that they can cope with all these factors along with their team, because a single leader cannot do all the things, cannot do all the roles. Okay, so moving towards the next question. Next question is understand the behavior of the complex system and how to change them. For that, the learning outcomes is that a learner will be able to understand, a learner or a participant or the student of the diploma will be able to understand the behavior of the complex system and how to change them. So in the first question, you have to identify the examples of the complex system in organization and the society. So these are the complex system, means the traditional systems, the conventional systems, and such type of the complex systems um, which are followed by over and over again, and our ancestors are using that method, and now the new generations are using that method, and now we want a change, we want to cut down the climate change, we want to solve the problem of the global warming. So you have to identify and give the examples of the complex system in society and in the organization as well. In the next question, is it describes the idea of a system, stock flow, feedback loops, and the emerging properties of a system. Okay, if you take the idea of a system, you will tell what are the stocks and how the flow of the information and how the flow of the system. Okay, if you take an example of the industry, so you can tell the flow in the manufacturing process, you can tell the flow, and what is the feedback from the employee, what is the feedback from the customers, and what is the feedback from the policymakers, or what is the feedback from the environment as well. Either that your organization is in a condition in such a way that they can solve all the things. And again, you have to identify what are the loopholes, what is the drawback of that system. You have to identify all the drawbacks or the loopholes, and you have to describe the emerging properties of a system. In next question, you have to analyze how the system interventions can be used to accelerate and sustain the change within our organization, including messy and problematic situation and the complex systems. For that, you have to analyze that how different types of the system can speed up the sustainable change within our organization. Okay, so in this question, you have to tell that within an organization, how a system intervenes and speed up the sustainable change or the transformational change through which the generations will get benefits. So for this question, I have prepared such slides so that you will be able to solve the assessment. For the first slide is why won't they change, why the complex system, why it is difficult to change the complex system. So for that, you have to understand the factors that the influence the individual behavior is very difficult, and you have the three skills among you, that how can you mold the behavior and how can you mold the complex system. You have to understand the factors that influence the individual behavior by ability, motivation, opportunity. Number one is you have the ability, you have to motivate your team, and then you have the opportunity. So this AMO is a high level model that suggested a variety of the factors that may combine to influence the individual performance, and if one of these is missing, it may act as a barrier to the change, to deliver the transformational change. So what are these three things which must be uh, present in such a process, that only then you can deliver the transformational change? So first one is ability. Ability means capacity in an organization. Either that organization has the capacity to bring the transformational change, either, okay, I will tell you these three things regarding a person and regarding a complex system and regarding an organization. Either that organization or the person has the capacity to bring the transformational change, and then you have to motivate your team for achieving a transformational change in an organization, or you can motivate the certain person. So a leader can do that. A leader can motivate a certain person so that they can bring the transformational change. And then we have the opportunity. The opportunity means that either that organization is in such a position that they can bring the transformational change. What are the finances of that organization? Either that the organization is in such a on such a level that they can spend, they can have a budget for achieving that transformational change, or for solving the climate change by bringing the change in their strategies, or bringing the change in their manufacturing process, the strategies. And then we have the that a leader must told their person that, okay, I know about it and how to do it, I will tell you. And I don't have the resources I need. So these are all the ambiguities that a person must have in their mind. So it's the duty of the leader that they will tell each and every member that, okay, you can do that. And we have to introduce such type of the training programs and awareness programs before introducing such type of the transformational change. Okay, moving towards the next thing. Before adopting or bringing us a transformational change, these are the five stages. So these are this is basically adoption curve for for the transformational change. Okay, the first one is the awareness. You have to aware your team, you have to aware that organization, you have to aware that okay, I'm going to change the strategy because we are so concerned about the climate change, we are so concerned about the environment and sustainability. So you have to aware. And how can you achieve the awareness? You can give the training programs, you can give the training sessions, you can conduct and arrange certain type of the workshops, uh, so that you can train your each and every employee so that they can perform and you can get the expected results. And next step is the understanding. You have to ensure that each and every member and each and every employee of your organization have a quite clear understanding about the new methods, about the new system, about the new technology. So the understanding, because it's very important that each and every employee must have a clear idea about it and a clear concept about the new system, about the new change which our organization want, which a leader want. And the next step is engagement. You have to engage each and every person and each and every member of your team in such activities that they feel confident and they can achieve that the goal. And they have their compatibility so that they can adopt that new method or the strategy. And the last step is commitment. The commitment that you must ensure that your team must be committed to bring that change, to bring the huge transformational change. Only then you and your team will be able to deliver the transformational change. Okay, moving towards the next one. These are the different stages of the so that your team will be able to achieve the transformational change. So I have arranged these slides so that you can incorporate, and you will feel helpful that, okay, you can get the concept so that you can solve the strategy, solve these all these assessment. So for question number this, I have to give you that pre-contamination is basically you are unaware of the problem. You don't know about the environment condition. You don't know about the climate change. So first condition is the pre-contamination. So second step is the contamination, that okay, there is a problem which is a quite hot issue, which is climate change, and it is one of the biggest environmental issue. And you and each and every person of this world, I think, you guys, what do you say? Yeah, anyone from the class? Okay, so basically, first of all is the awareness of the problem and of the desired behavior change. And then as you have to prepare, you have to intend to take the action. And the action is basically you have to practice the desired behavior. And next step is the maintenance. You have to work to sustain the behavior change. These are the different stages, and a leader will help it, an organization will help it, and this these all these the stages of a person who can bring the transformational change. Okay, this is the fourth question, and the learning outcomes is how can you understand how a leader's style and approach has a major impact on both teams and individuals' performance, values, and the motivation. For that, there are the three paths. First question is the assess how to effectively lead the diverse teams. That you have uh, a team in which each and every person belong to different background, belong to different culture, belong to different uh, traditions. Their brought up is different, their upbringing is different. So you have to bring all the team in one page. You have to bring all the team in one page. So you have to deal with a diverse group. So you have to describe in this question that how can you effectively lead such type of diverse group, such type of the group which belongs to different culture and teams. And the next question, you have to analyze the leadership and the leadership needs of an organization that is considering internal and external context. What are the external and what are the internal context a leader must consider, and what are the needs of an organization before bringing this results. The next we have the critical assess how the key leadership theories impact on management and motivation of the people in the workplace. That how a leadership theories impacts, because there are different type of the theories which have been presented, that how a leader basically impact on management and motivation of the people. So basically a leadership must be intellectual, must be a stimulant, that they have a spark to drive a team. If you focus on this image, you see that now the team is working, but they don't get the clear idea what they are doing. And the thread is the thread is winding in such a way that it doesn't give you a direction, it doesn't give you the productivity, and efficiency is zero, but still the team is working very hard. But after the leader give the idea, leader gives the guideline, so now the team is working in such a planned manner, and the efficiency is 100%, and you can get the expected outcomes. Now, I want to tell you that a leadership, which basically a transformational leadership, is they have the power of implement, and they have the skill of innovations. So the leadership must have the creativity, they have the clear goals, and they have the ability to solve the challenges. And then they have the individualized considerations, the mentorship, empathy, purpose, strength, and the skills. They have all these factors in that individual. These are the compulsory and the mandatory factors and the characteristics of a transformational leader. And then we have the idealized influence, that what is the load, a leader must be a role model for the team, and a leader has such type of the charisma so that the team will follow by heart. So only then you can get the results of this transformational change, and they work with their leader. Walk means they can follow the footsteps of their leader, and they, if their leader is enthusiastic, they are motivated, and their team will automatically feel the enthusiasm in themselves, and the embody the value that they can each value their leadership. And then we have the inspirational motivation. They have a leader must have the clear vision, and a clear leader must be have the optimism. Because if a leader is a pessimist, the team will have zero potential. The team will not able to perform. So a leader must be optimist in their point of views, in their role, and in their needs, and inclusive and productive, that you can your productivity and efficiency is very important, so that a leader will reflect such qualities so that each and every member of the team will adopt such qualities so you can get the transformational change in your organization very easily. So, what is the framework of a leadership? So, basically, a transforming leader professional development towards is you have a development. So, the building the competencies, skills, behavior towards the leadership practices, and the person must have a positive change and the mindset, and only then you can enhance the high performance of the team effectiveness toward achieving the organizational results. Okay, so this slide is one of my favorite slide because in this you have the combination of a leader which can uh, uh, derive the entire team for bringing the transformational leadership. So first of all is the idealized influence. They has the influence on the team. They have the inspiration. The person, the leadership have the motivation. The leader must be intellectual, and the leader has the spark. The leader has the individualized consideration. So for that, the expected outcomes, you will get it, and you can get the performance beyond your expectations. Okay, moving towards the next one. This is the transformational change. So if you focus on this picture, the leader is presented in the red color, and all the other team is presented by the white color. Means a leader is the hero. A leader is the main person who can bring the transformational change, who is the person who is responsible for delivering the transformational change. So the motivation and the stimulation. This is one of the things. Creativity and adaptability, consideration, and the empathy. And again, the long-term performances, which is expected by the leader, which is expected by the team as well. And we don't, okay, as you can see, that we want the dynamic and changing environment. We have to give the importance to the innovation. We have to give the organization strategic change and difficult situation or the crisis we have. We have the work in under the leadership of we can because a team can perform in such a way that if they are working in under such a leadership that the leadership will be able to solve the difficult situation or the crisis, only then you will be able to bring the transformational change. But what should not be the thing which must be occur in your team. Your team must not have the lack of clarity. Your team must not have the little details about the structure, and you don't have a team which can depend on each other. Moving towards the next question, that understand the meaning and the purpose of the ESG means environment, society, and the governance structure and how to develop it. These are the learning outcomes. So a learner will be able to understand the meaning, the purpose of the ESG governance structure, and how to develop it. So for that, you have to describe. For in first question, you have to describe the definition of a definition. What are the ESG? You have to define it, and then you have to tell the purpose of ESG governance structure. You have to identify the key roles and the function involved in ESG governance. And in next question, you have to explain the key steps in setting up an internal ESG governance structure, including the governance documents. So before giving you the point of view regarding the question number 5, I want to show you this video so that you will be able to grab the concept that what are the ESGs. Yes. Okay, so for this question, you know that the and ESG is basically the environmental, social, and the governance. Basically, the governance structure is a framework that outlines how a company will manage and oversee its ESG related activities and the performances. So here is the overview of a typical ESG governance structure, so that you guys will not feel difficulty in solving the question number 5. Okay. So first of all, in structure we have board of directors, in which they oversees the ESG strategies and their performance. Next, we have the ESG commitment or the sustainability committee. We have the ESG committee and the sustainability committee. You can uh, give the name to the sustainability committee or the ESG committee. Report to the board. What is the duty of this committee? They have to report to the board, like they have to report to the board of director, which is the first level of the structure, and they are responsible for uh, ESG oversight. If uh, uh, if there is a mistake in a system, and if there is a thing which is faulty in a structure, so the ESG committee will be the responsible for that. And then we have the executive management that they can implement the ESG strategies and the policies. And then we have the ESG officers or the chief sustainable officer, which is basically a leader and leads the ESG efforts, reports to the executive management. Engagement team is basically the last stage in which they manage the communication with the stakeholders on ESG matters. So this is the entire ESG governance structure. But I want to tell you that what are the governing documents. So first of all, the ESG policy. ESG policies basically outlines the company ESG vision, mission, and the principle. The okay, one second. That the ESG is basically uh, policy is basically is a thing that which outline the company's ESG vision. That what is the vision of the ESG? What is the mission of the ESG and what are the principles? So ESG strategy is basically a strategy document is basically have the details about the goals, about the objective and the initiative for the ESG performance. And the code of conduct document is basically which establish the ethical standard for employees and the business partners. And then we have the corporate governance charter. A- and this corporate governance charter defines the board's role in overseeing the ESG. And then we have the sustainable report, in which a team has the duty to present the annual report on ESG performance and progress. And ESG matrices and the reporting network basically guides the ESG data collection and the reporting. And then we have the risk management policy, which basically addresses the ESG related risk and opportunities. And last, we have the stakeholder engagement policy, in which you have to outline the approach to stakeholders communication, and you have to give the a policy in which you can ensure and you can give the plan that how can you engage the stakeholders and how can you deal with stakeholder and how can you maintain the communication between environmentalists, between the society mean public, and between the policymakers and the politicians at the government level. So you have to give an entire approach regarding that how can you maintain the communication between the stakeholders. Then you have the additional documents like in ESG governance system. You have the documents, but you have some other documents as well. So for that you have climate change policy, because a transformational change and the ESG data basically specifically deal with the climate change policy. So you can have prepared, you must have prepared the climate change policy document, the human right policy document, and you have to highlight what is the diversity. What is the diversity of the culture? What is the diversity of the problems? And then you have the equity and the inclusion. Then we have the supply chain sustainability policy and the ESG related industry certification are the standards. Okay, if any person from the class who can give me the idea that either you have seen such type of the organizations who has changed their system regarding regarding concern about if they are so concerned about the environment. So what have they done so far for the environment? Or yes, please, anyone from the class? Okay. Okay, if you don't have an idea about it, I will give you that names. of the certain organization that what they have done so far about the environment by delivering the transformational change, and what type of results they achieved until now, and they have changed in their entire strategy so that they can solve the problem of climate change, or so that they can solve the environmental issues. So here we go. These are the some real life example of the organizations that have undergone the transformational change regarding the environment. So I will discuss them one by one. So first is Patagonia. So Patagonia means implemented the sustainable manufacture practicing using recycled material and reducing waste. So first organization which brings this transformational change is the Patagonia. So Patagonia, what they do, they basically recycle the material. What they do, they basically recycle the material, and uh, they basically reduce the waste. For that, by doing this, they really help the environment, and uh, uh, remain successful uh, for reducing the waste which they are generating annually. So they reduce their solid waste. So basically, they work in the sector of the solid waste management, and they also use the sustainable material, because 82% of the Patagonia's materials are recycled, regenerative, or the renewable. And again, the Patagonia basically establish the supply chain data to ensure the accountability. So this is the uh, successful, uh, you can say that this is the key of the success, that their transparency of the supply chain, what they are manufacturing, what type of goods are manufacturing, they are a Patagonia raw material, and their entire resource are they is quite transparent. So each and every person working in the supply chain is very honest, and they have such type of the raw material which are you can give, and you can test it. And then the Patagonia basically conducts environmental assessments regularly. So these are all the things which Patagonia is doing, that they are transparent and they're supplying the raw material, and the Patagonia is very honest, and the Patagonia raw waste material is 82% recyclable. And they have because the Pentagon ensure the fair wages and the safe working conditions. So that's why each and every person of the Pentagon is hard worker and the transparent. Then we have the IKEA, and IKEA basically set the goal to the power sector. The Patagonia is working for the solid waste management, but the IKEA work for the power sector. So IKEA set the goals to the power the 50% of the store with the renewable energy, reducing the energy consumption by the 30%, and eliminated the single-use plastics. So basically, this IKEA is a Swedish furniture retailer and has made the significant strides in sustainability and the environmental responsibility. And they are claiming that they will be 100% renewable energy user by 2030, which is very interesting. That they are, improving day by day. And currently, they are claiming that 50% reduction in the greenhouse gases emission by 2025. And zero waste will be transported to the landfill by the 2030. These are all the sustainability goals which are presented by the IKEA.
And I'm really happy and I feel really glad that and I'm so impressed by the sustainable goals and the objective which has been set up by this organization. And one thing I want to share you, that the 60% of the IKEA material is also recyclable and sustainable. They are getting the raw material from the sustainable resource. Then we have the Unilever. Unilever is basically committed to reducing the greenhouse gas emissions by the 50% and eliminating the deforestation from the supply chain. So, the Unilever is basically a multinational consumer goods company, and it has a significant commitments to the sustainability and environmental responsibility, because they are claiming that they will improve the health and well-being of the people by reducing the consumption of the non-renewable energy manners, and they are committed to present the results in which they are committed to use the electricity by the mean of the renewable energies by 2025. They are reducing the water usage as well, because it's again very impressive by the Unilever that they are thinking for the air, water and the resources as well, and they are claiming that they will be 100%, they will use 100% recyclable and the reusable material packaging by the 2025. Again, it's very being environmentalist and being environmental engineer, you will feel glad that okay, these are organizations which are so concerned about that. But in contrast, there are the different organizations, they are only focusing on their on the profit, on their goods, but they have the least concern about the environment. Okay, then moving towards the next one, this is the Unilever. Unilever basically committed to reducing the greenhouse gas emissions by the 50% and eliminating the deforestation from the UK. Okay, next we have the Nike. Nike is implementing the sustainable design and manufacturing and practicing and reducing the waste by the 80%, and not only reducing the waste by 80%, but also they will save 50% water usage, they will save the water as well. Nike is one of the famous brand, and if they are committed to the environment, again it's very good, because it's one of the leading sports apparel brand which has made significant actions in terms of sustainability, and they are claiming that they will give zero waste until 2025. And what are their environmental initiatives? They are using the recyclable programs, and they are promoting it by campaigns, by using certain type of ambassador, like certain type of the sportsman as well. Next we have Coca-Cola. What they do for the environment, they set the goals to reduce the greenhouse gas emission by the 50% and collect and recycle the equivalents of every can and bottle sold. This is one of the biggest problem, that this is the solid waste problem, and then we have solid waste management problems, and then we have the these uh, different animals is also get harmed by these glass bottles, and these cans is, these are not degradable. So it's very good action that they are collecting all the waste. So what they do, they basically want to reduce the water usage, and they basically promote the equity, and they are also claiming that they will uh, give 100% recyclable packaging by 2025. So this is one of the good thing, because glass and the metallic can, they are not biodegradable. So this is one of the environmental issue. So this is very good strategies which are adopting by the top management of the Coca-Cola. So here I give you the overview of the what are the concept of the delivering transformational change, and what are those five questions which are mandatory to attempt for solving this optional unit entitled as delivering a transformational change. So transformational change is very important uh, for because it's the need of the today, because the environment is suffering from the solid waste, from the air pollution, from the global warming, from the greenhouse gas emissions, and from the ozone layer depletion, from the climate change, from the floods, from the storms. So these transformational changes today's need. We must have to adopt these type of the transformational changes so that our environment will improve. We can boost the quality of the human life. We have to save something. We have to save this planet. We have to save the resources for the next generation. So for that, we have to adopt the renewable energy practices. We have to adopt such type of the methods which are sustainable. So in conclusion, I want to tell you that in this alarming situation, it's the call to action. We have to bring such type of transformational changes in which transformational because these type of the transformational changes today's need. We have to bring such change because we want to improve our environment. We want to improve the environment for the next generation. We have to promote the sustainability. So it's time to do something. And it's a call to action to each and every individual of this planet, to each and every manufacturing industry that do something for the environment. So basically, the successful transformation has positioned the organization for long term sustainability and growth. By adopting such type of the transformations, an organization will get the long term benefits, and their growth will be increased day by day, and ultimately this will be benefit for the organization, for the environment, and for the entire planet as well. And this transformational change basically enhance the capability and the resilience which enable us to thrive in a rapid changing environment. And these type of the transformational change has fostered a culture of the innovation, collaboration, and continuous improvement as well. So, what you say, guys? Transformational change is very important, which must be adopted by the people, by the organization, by the policymakers, by the environment, and by the organizations as well. So, here I want to say that you people are, for me, you are environmentalists, you are the environmental engineers, and you are the environmental engineers, and you have to design such type of the strategies, you have to design such type of the processes so that you can deliver such type of the transformational change. So here I want to say thank you for attending the session, and I'm expecting that now you people will have clear idea that what are the transformational change and how you will people can deliver such type of the transformational change which are very beneficial for the planet. Thank you so much for attending the session. Okay, goodbye and have a good evening. Bye bye.